Come on, Henrietta, let's talk about craft and hobby totes, shall we? Do you ever find that you keep telling yourself that you're gonna get to that craft or hobby later, or when you have time, or when the moment is perfect, and the days go by, you never really get to engage in your crafts and hobbies because, you know, life is happening and things are going on and all the stuff. And you just want there to be just an easier way to approach these things so you can actually engage in your crafts and hobbies. Well, friends, that's why you need a craft and hobby tote. So let's go ahead and get into that. Here is my craft and hobby tote. And if you've been with me for some time, or maybe seen my videos before, follow me on social media when I was on social media, you may have seen me talk about my craft and hobby tote. Also, if you're one of my Patreon members and you see me talk about this, I swear by having a vessel of some sort with things that I love to do that I can take around my house or take to places wherever I go, so I don't have an excuse not to engage in my hobbies. Now, I'm all about reducing friction in my life, mainly during seasons that are really, really busy. I just want to be able to do the things that I love, but I also want to stop making an excuse for not doing the things that I love. So in order to do that, I had to make things super easy and super portable. Now, to be honest, I have been carrying around a craft and hobby tote for as long as I can remember. When I was little, I used to carry around a little bag with my little materials and activities that I like to do at that time, particularly collecting Lisa Frank stickers and reading Babysitter's Club. So those things used to always go into my bag that I would take if we were running errands, my mom and I, or if I was going over to a relative's house. My grandmother, who was my best friend at the time, still is in my heart, would take activities to her house to do. But I always had something on the go, even when I was a teenager or even as a young adult. And now, because I am in a different stage in life and I am not here at home all the time, I want to make sure that I always have something packed in, ready to go, that I can do that's low energy, that's low friction, that's easy to do. I don't have any expectation of having to finish a project or anything. These are just things that I can just put my phone down and just relax and do the thing. Now, interestingly enough, I keep seeing videos popping up about this here on YouTube, and maybe people are talking about it on other social platforms. But I recently heard another term. People are starting to call these analog bags. And so this is in reference to sort of this movement, if you will, or a trend of people getting off of their devices and spending time with more analog pursuits, whether it's coloring, reading, or whatnot. So whatever you call it, a craft or hobby bag or an analog bag, I think it's great that people are embracing this. And if this is something that you haven't done, I'm going to give you some of my top tips for setting up a craft and hobby bag or analog bag, and then also encouraging you to take it along with you, whether you're on the go or maybe even setting up a few things around your house so that you don't make excuses here in 2026. You can actually have things ready to go that you can do, that you enjoy, and you can no longer say that you don't have time for your hobbies. So let's get into it. Now, I do recognize that this might not be a new idea to some of you. Some of you have probably been carrying around a tote or a bag, a box, a bin, of whatever of activities that you like to take on the go. But if it's something that you haven't done in a while, hopefully this video will inspire you to do just that. So let's go ahead and get into some of those top tips. Tip number one, you're going to select a bag, a tote, a box, whatever vessel that you want to use to create your craft and hobby or analog bag out of. Now, here's the thing. I do not recommend that you go out and buy anything. You probably have some type of reusable bag or some kind of tote or something already with you. And if you do go out and get something, maybe check out a thrift store or a charity shop, because there are no shortage of bags and things there. This bag I purchased probably about 6 years ago on Amazon. It's a felt bag with a faux leather strap, and she has been getting a workout over the past years, but she still carries my stuff around regardless of the wear and tear. I'm not going to get a new bag. I like her. So anyway, she has some divided areas here, as well as this little base part that comes in and out. She actually needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But I will load this up on a weekly or bi-weekly basis with the things that I want to work on or engage with for that week. Usually I will pack her up on the days that I am planning for the week. So I've just kind of got myself a little schedule for that. So anyway, this is a simple little felt bag. If you are crafty, make yourself one. But you can use a reusable bag. You can use a basket. You can use whatever you want that makes it easy for you to move this about, whether you're going to keep it in your house or you're going to take it with you. This thing floats around my house and it comes with me whenever I am out and about, particularly when I am taking my kid to dance or I'm having appointments and things. I will pack pack this with stuff that I know that would keep me busy and keep me engaged. It has worked out very well. I also use reusable bags. I get canvas totes from my Barnes & Noble subscription and all kinds of reusable bags at my job for conferences and things that I go to. So there are no shortage of vessels out there. So pick something that's free, low cost. You probably have something hanging around your house, and make that your little hobby bag that you can take around. Make it simple, make it easy, make it free or low cost. Just select something that you will feel comfortable carrying around, whether it's around your home or when you're out and about. For tip number 2, I recommend that you select 2 to 4 items that you can put in your craft and hobby tote, whatever that may be. Side note, make sure you check in with yourself and ask yourself, what do I feel like doing right now? Because sometimes depending on where we're at in life, we may not have a whole lot of energy. And so we may want to do something that is slow and easy. It's nothing that you have to finish. You just pull it out, do it, put it away. It's no big deal. So just kind of think about how you're feeling in the moment and let that dictate what you put in your bag. So about 2 to 4 items. I don't recommend overfilling your bag because then that's too many choices. And if you're like me, you sit there, you look at all these choices, you're like, well, what do I want to do first? 2 or 3 things that are easy, approachable, frictionless that you can put in your craft and hobby tote. Also, you don't have to go out and buy anything. I'm sure you probably have something around your house that you've been wanting to do, maybe kits that you've purchased, materials that you have, books you haven't read, crossword puzzles or Sudoku puzzles you haven't done yet, whatever it may be around your house. So take a moment, look to see what you have, pick 2 to 4 of those items, and maybe use those items to start out your craft or hobby bag or to refresh your craft or hobby bag if this is something that you've been doing for a while. Tip number 3, have a variety of items that you can choose from. Now, I appreciate having some options when I'm out and about. So some of the things that I like to pack are my word search puzzles. This is a 365 word search puzzle thing that I got from Barnes & Noble, probably, and they have an area in Barnes & Noble where they have things on sale. So that's where I got this. I think I may have gotten it for $10, if that. But it has a ton of word search puzzles. None of them are complicated. I can sit down, do a whole bunch of these in one setting if I want to. Also, too, side tip, whatever hobby that you put or project or activity that you put into your tote, make sure you have the corresponding tools or materials that you need for that. So with my word search, I always pack at least 2 highlighters. Well, I lied. I have a lot of highlighters because I like to use different colors for different puzzles, but pack the tools that you need for the hobby or the craft that you want to do. So I usually have at least 2 to 3 highlighters that I put with my word search. And so all I have to do is just stick those right there on my word search book. I just select my colors. And this is good to go. I can just grab it out of my bag and have fun doing a whole bunch of word search puzzles. Now, another item that I like to pack in my craft and hobby tote are coloring books. I love to color. I've been coloring ever since I was a kid. Absolutely love it. And I like really cutesy, fun, easy, approachable coloring books, not things with a whole lot of detail. I love those designs, but they take forever to color. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to sit down, lay some color down on paper and have fun. So here's an example of a coloring book that I picked up recently. It's called Sniggly Winter Coloring Book. It's by Cute and Cozy. There's a bunch of these types of style of coloring books by different artists out there. You can get pretty much anywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble or whatnot. And since I have this coloring book, I'm going to pack a coloring medium, something that's easy for me to tote around. I love things like this. So these are colored pencils and it already has a tin. I could easily put this in a pencil bag, which I have plenty of, but I like this tin because it keeps all my pencils organized. I don't have to go and buy anything else. I've had these colors in my stash for quite a while now, so it's not something that I purchased new. In fact, I found out I have 4 packs of colored pencils. Anyway, so I picked one of them that I can use to color. Now, when I want to do more detailed coloring or whatever, I have, alcohol markers or all that. But again, this is approachable. You don't need much. You can even use some Crayola crayons. It's not a big deal. So point being is that I have the coloring book. I have my coloring medium with me. It's it's accessible. I can put this in my craft bag. I can take it anywhere, whether I'm coloring around the house or on the go. So this makes it very convenient and frictionless when I want to participate in this hobby. And of course, I can't forget books. So books might be another option. Again, we're packing things that we like, things that we enjoy. I read all the time. I have my Kindle. I usually will read my book club, read from this for my Patreon group. By the way, my Patreon does have a book club. It's called Craft or Fiction. So if that's something you're interested in, click on the Patreon link in the description description. But I have my Kindle ready to go with the book that I'm reading. I like to read library books from this as well. And then I also usually bring a physical book. This book I'm trying to finish from last year because I'm bringing a physical book. And a lot of times when I am reading on the go, it's in the evening time when my kid's in dance class. During the winter months or just in general, I always make sure that I have a light source. So going back to making sure you're packing the tool or resource that you need for that particular hobby, I make sure that I have a light source. So this is just a little bitty light. It has an LED. I think it's an LED light. I can't remember. Anyway, it's super, super bright. So when I'm sitting in the car at night in the parking lot waiting for my kid to come out, then I have a light source and I don't have to run down my battery and stuff in my car. So have the tool that you need necessary in order to do the craft that you like. I don't necessarily have to worry about that with my Kindle because it's lighted. So anyway, make sure that you have easy, accessible tools. I just stick this right here into my little book sleeve, if you will. Pop my book in. I have my bookmark. I have my book light. And I am good to go to take my book anywhere when I'm on the go. Another great thing to pack is if you're someone who likes to do paper crafting, fiber arts, any type of art type thing, is to make yourself a kit and you can take your project kits on the go. This is something that I did a lot when I was doing a whole bunch of scrapbooking. I make kits for all of my fiber arts projects, my cross stitch and my embroidery. I'm also working on a felt project. And in fact, at the time that I'm recording this video, we're actually getting ready to go out of town. So I packed a kit with some felt ornament projects that I am making because hopefully one day I will have a craft tree, like Christmas tree, craft tree up here that I can put all my handmade ornaments on. So I started that process. So what I do is I just put them in these little bags here. I don't know what this material, it's like a little plastic material. Anyway, you can get these for like 20 for little of nothing on Amazon. Various different sizes or whatnot. You put the elements in there that you want. So in this instance, I packed a kit with my little felt projects. In fact, I just completed one. At the time I filmed this, I completed this the previous evening with my Patreon members during our monthly live stream. And so at least I have one little project done, but these are portable. It has everything that I need already in the kit. So I don't have to take anything extra, maybe just a pair of scissors or some snips. And I can take this on the go. So I just put all these little things in this little bag. If you're working on a large project, then you can put the elements that you need for that part of the project that you're working on, put that in your craft and hobby tote, and then you can work on your project bit by bit. That's helpful when you're really busy and you don't have a lot of time to spend on a project. So this is something of this is part of a larger project and I'm working on it kind of in fits and spurts, but this is definitely going with me out of town in my craft and hobby bag. All right, so now that you have selected a bag or basket or whatnot to use as your vessel for your craft and hobby tote, you selected 2 or maybe 4 items that you can put in your craft and hobby bag, and you've seen some examples of some things that you could possibly include. And we talked a little bit about making sure you're mindful of how you're feeling, what the vibe is to help you dictate what items to put in your bag. Now it's just time to put the bag together and then take it wherever it is that you want to take it. The main thing is that once you put it together with the items that you want to be your entertainments, that you're actually engaging in that hobby. Make it easy, make it frictionless. I recommend keeping your bag in a place in your home, your office, wherever you spend majority of your time, where it's in view, you can grab it. It is the option, it's the decision that you can make right there in the moment, and it's good to go. You don't have to think that hard about it, right? We're trying to do things super easy. So let's go ahead and set up my craft and hobby tote, because at the time that I'm recording this, I'm getting ready to go out of town and I want to take some things along with me on the go. So in my craft and hobby tote, I have my coloring book, my Gilmore Girls coloring book that I got for Christmas. I also have my word search puzzle. In addition to that, I have all of my fiber arts kits packed up and ready to go, just a few projects that I'm working on currently. I also have my Prismacolor color pencils that I can use to color, as well as this little kit that I put together whenever I'm working on fiber arts projects. I have my extra needles, my snips, some highlighters when I'm following a cross stitch pattern, as well as some twine that I'm going to be using for some felt projects here. Here are my little snips that I need. All of this goes into this little metal tin that I had received with a embroidery kit a few years ago. So I just keep these on hand. I put everything that I need in that and I can take that on the go. I also have my my pencil sharpener for my color pencils, because again, as I mentioned earlier, you want to have any of the tools and materials that you need in order to do the hobby that you're working on. So I'm obviously going to need to sharpen my color pencils. So I have this little pencil sharpener that I picked up from Michael's, ready to go in my hobby bag. And of course, I always have books with me, so I typically have 1 to 2 books along with a reading light, so that wherever I'm at, I can read my book and enjoy. And lastly, I have my 10 gajillion highlighters that I like to have on hand whenever I'm doing my word search puzzles. So throughout the year, you will probably see my craft and hobby tote in some form or fashion as I talk about the activities and things that I am doing, particularly new crafts that I'm teaching myself this year that I will more than likely kit up and bring along with me as I'm on the go. But I'm interested to know, are you inspired by this? Is this your first time hearing somebody do this, a craft or hobby tote or analog bag, as I'm seeing it referred to on YouTube? Maybe this is something you've been doing for a while, or maybe you haven't done it in a while and you just need some inspiration, sort of get back into making sure you have an easy way to access your crafts and hobbies and interests. Let me know in the comment section. I look forward to chatting with you and learning and getting some ideas about what you're putting in your craft and hobby tote.